Shalom, children. In our story last time, the disciples and Yeshua had arrived at the village of Bethania. Yeshua had instructed them to go into the village opposite. There they would find a colt tied up. They were to loosen the animal and bring it back. The next day, the taught ones took their garments and placed them onto the back of the donkey in order for Yeshua to sit. He was about to ride the short journey to Jerusalem and so fulfill the prophecy spoken by prophet Zechariah when he said, "Do not fear, daughter of Zion. See, your king is coming, sitting on the colt of a donkey." As Yeshua rode towards the city, he wept over Jerusalem, saying, "Because you do not recognize the things that would bring shalom, your enemies will siege you on every side, and not one stone would be left upon another." In Jerusalem, some of the Pharisees had been talking to the people about Eleazar being raised from the dead. After hearing this incredible miracle, many were hoping to see Yeshua for themselves. Those who were already in the city, upon hearing that Yeshua was on his way, took their garments and spread them out onto the road to make a way for him. Others cut down palm branches and spread them out onto the pathways. The crowd cried out, "Hoshiana, blessed is the King of Israel that comes in the name of Yah. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David, shalom in heaven and glory in the highest." The people were honoring Yeshua as Melech Yisrael, that is, the King of Israel. Children, do you remember when Yeshua fed the crowd of 5,000 men with a little boy's lunch? The people had recognized Yeshua as the prophet they had all been waiting for. As a result, they wanted to honor Yeshua as Melech right then and there. But he had more to do before he could allow the people to publicly announce him as King of Israel. But now the time had arrived. It began the night before at Shimon's house, when Miriam had anointed him with her very expensive ointment. And now, as Yeshua rode in on the colt, the people recognized him as Yeshua Melech Yisrael. Some of the ruling Kohanim and sages saw what was going on and didn't like it one bit. They ordered Yeshua, "Rabbi, rebuke your disciples and tell them to stop." But Yeshua responded, "If these people stop crying out, the stones will immediately cry out in their place." The leaders then turned to each other and exclaimed, "Do you see? Do you understand? We have lost everything. The entire world is following him." As Yeshua entered through the gates, the crowd continued to cry out. The rest of the people gathered in the city were moved, saying, "Who is this?" The crowd answered them, "This is Yeshua, the prophet from Nazareth." Some Greek men who lived in the Galilee area had come up to Jerusalem to worship at the feast. They wanted to see Yeshua too, and so asked his taught ones if they could arrange a meeting. They were brought to Yeshua, and he said to them, "The hour has now come that the Son of Man shall be glorified. I tell you truth, if a grain of wheat falls onto the ground and does not die, it remains alone. But if it dies and is buried in the ground, it brings forth much fruit." The people Yeshua was speaking to were very familiar with farming methods and knew all about growing wheat and other crops. They understood wheat grain which remains on the stalk could never produce more wheat. The farmer has to take the grain and bury it in the ground. Only then will it sprout and grow a new plant with a new stalk, which will have many more grains of wheat growing on it. In this illustration, Yeshua was telling them two things. Firstly, he was speaking of his own death and burial, which was about to happen in a few days. He was going to die, be buried, then sprout forth from the grave and rise into life. This miracle was going to cause many to believe in him, and so multiply the number of people in the kingdom. And secondly, the message was to be applied to our own lives. Like the grain of wheat, we need to take our old man, that is, those desires which are not kingdom ways, put them to death, bury them in the ground. Then we will sprout forth into a new way of living and produce lots of good fruit. Yeshua continued talking with the Greek men. If any man desires to be my servant, let him follow me, so that where I am, my servant shall be there also. If any man serves me, my Father will honor him. After he had finished speaking with them, he announced, "Now my soul is deeply troubled, but what should I say? Father, deliver me from this hour? No, this is the very reason that I came. Father, glorify your name." Suddenly, a voice came from heaven. "I have both glorified it, and I will glorify it again." Those who were stood by heard the voice from heaven. Some said it sounded like thunder. Yet others said an angel had spoken to him. Yeshua told them the voice wasn't for his sake, but for them to hear. He told them, "I will be lifted up from the earth and draw all men to me." Yeshua then left the temple area and went to Bethania for the evening. Well, children, that is the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting journey in the life of Yeshua. Shalom.
I'll be no mountain.